Warning: this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It does not promote, glorify, or encourage drug use or risky behavior. This story is shared as a cautionary tale to emphasize the risks and consequences of experimenting with unknown substances. Viewer discretion is advised.
The first time I did LSD was a doozy. Buckle up. This one's going to be a ride. When I was 17, my friend David and I decided to throw a party at his house, which I was living at. Now, to put this party into perspective, this was around the time that the movie Project X was massively popular.
To the break of dawn, yo!
Being a bunch of dumb kids with no parents home for 2 weeks, we felt like the CEOs of Viagra, and it was go hard or go home, or in our case, go hard at home.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
We hit up our local UPS man to secure a few ounces of that Primo Demo Zaza. He told us he had some Lucy, if we were interested. Now, at this point in time, I only knew one guy who had allegedly taken magic mushrooms. He told me that he saw leprechauns talking to him and a unicorn running around at a park. The typical LSD cliche, I would soon find out. This kid was full of shit. Still, I was intrigued to say the least, so I took him up on a deal. 5 tabs for $50. I had no comparison of pricing, but it felt like a steal to me.
It wasn't.
My guy pulled up in a Honda Civic with his system blaring in a Burger King parking lot.
We're in the parking lot circling, screaming, I don't give a with his windows down and his system up.
Pretty sketch from the traditional handshake and take off, but I didn't really care. We had hit up literally every teenager we knew and invited them to this party. I at least needed the Zaza at a minimum. Now David was securing booze during this time, so I initially went alone, until a buddy of mine, John, got wind that I was picking up our girl Lucy. He immediately jumped on the chance to get his own and decided to come with. So there we are, about to buy what would be one of the craziest experiences of my fucking life.
I am freaking out, man!
Fast forward, the stash is secured, and I'm at the crib getting ready. David has the booze. Weed is on the counter and people begin to start trickling in. Soon our house was filled to the brim with complete strangers. I was smoking a raw cone in the bedroom when I remembered the Lucy in my pocket. I went ahead and popped 2 tabs thinking tonight was about to be lit. Boy was I wrong, and right at the same damn time.
It was at this moment Jackson knew. He fucked up.
I remember chatting with some people for like 20 minutes or so, and wondering if I had got some bunk-ass junk. Feeling ripped off, I went ahead and popped 2 more tabs because, you know, natural selection or whatever.
Oh my god, he's dead. He's dead.
I heard my name being called out by the pool. I looked over, waved at a couple of the homegirls, and went and threw some trunks on to take a dip. I hopped in the pool and swam around for like 10 minutes or so. The pool soon began to stretch to lengths I never could have imagined. We had a literal speedboat in the pool, a story I'll definitely tell on another video, and within a minute, I swear to whatever higher power you believe in, I thought I was in the ocean. You know that light-breathing visual stimulation that LSD gives when it first kicks in? Yeah, I skipped that shit and went straight to a 150 microgram peak in a matter of minutes, and this was my come-up. When I finally reached land, I imagine it was a lot like The Truman Show if Jim Carrey played a fish out of water. So there I am, flopping around, freaking out of my mind, when I had one thought of clarity: call the plug and ask for advice. Now, I know drug dealers aren't Boy Scouts, but honestly, fuck this guy. I managed to get a hold of my phone and call him. I told him I was freaking the heck out, and I needed to know what to do to sober up. He paused for a moment and spoke in the deepest voice possible.
Make some spaghetti and go to bed.
Then he hung up. So you might think, I'm tripping. No way that was real. Unfortunately for me, he was on speaker, and my friends would later tell me when I was sober, it was not imagination at all. So there I stood, my world completely shattered, my ego beginning to slip, and the little bit of sanity I had left, gone. I took a look at this girl, Kenan, and her face stretched out, and she looked exactly like Adam from Beetlejuice.
That's the ugliest motherfucker I ever seen.
Are you okay? The words slipped out of her mouth. My response was simple. Who are you? Wait, who am I? Thus began the ego dissolution I never expected. Now, as profound as this was later on, in the moment, I was most focused on one issue I had. I couldn't remember my damn name. Now, as I'm having this existential crisis, 2 dudes at the party began to screw with me. They didn't believe that I was tripping hardcore balls. In their minds, I was faking everything. I'm sure this was a mix of ignorance and the fact that LSD was hard to come by. Either way, these dudes asked if I wanted to go get some cigarettes from the gas station. I quickly said yes to get a different change of scenery. I'm riding in this car, and the driver begins to pick up speed very quickly. Suddenly, the guy in the front passenger seat turns his head and says,
We're going to die now. I hope you're ready. We're going to wreck this car and kill us all.
They begin laughing hysterically, believing I would tell them to stop the car and the whole thing was a joke. But I'm on LSD, so what do? Laugh hysterically, of course. But that's not all. I ripped open the car door and began to lean forward. Thankfully, someone was sitting in the back seat with me and grabbed me before I leapt to my death. The guys pulled the car over as bro in the back seat held me down. Once we came to a stop, they told me to get out.
Get out of here. Get the hell out of here. Go away.
I stepped out of the car and these 3 caring citizens sped off, leaving me abandoned in Phoenix, Arizona all alone on acid. Thankfully, I got a hold of my friend John, who showed up with one of his buddies visiting from and they both dropped some acid to get on my level. We walked for miles, shared a few laughs, and eventually, we found my home. By this time, I had come down pretty hard and felt like total crap. Of course, John and his buddy, whose name I won't disclose for privacy purposes, were still high as a kite. The 2 of them decided to go on their own journey, and I hopped the fence and passed out on the couch in the backyard shed. Long story short, I learned a lot from this experience. First, the more obvious lesson is that drugs are not something you should just do on a whim. If you have zero idea what a substance is or what it does, it's probably best to just refrain from taking it altogether. Second, with psychedelics, no one is going to understand what you're going through unless they have done it themselves. With that being said, the crowd you surround yourself with makes a world of a difference when entering these types of realms. I want to be clear. I do not mean to glorify drugs or any substance for that matter in any way, shape, or form. Most people should stay away from them. However, I understand that many people are going to still decide to do them. This is why I share my stories so people can understand and take away from them what they need. Anyways, be sure to subscribe and like this video to help me out. I've got tons of other stories coming soon.